Hello. Welcome to One Step English Grammar Crash Course. Today, we are talking about intransitive verb and the 4 types of sentences. Review. Do you still remember what a predicate is? The direct object? The indirect object? We will take a quick review about these topics. Predicate. The predicate is the verb in any objects, complements, or modifiers. Example: I love to cook. Direct object. Direct object is a person or thing in the predicate. Example: I understand your message. In this sentence, the word message receives the action of the verb. Understand is what is being understood. Indirect object. The indirect object receives the action. Example: my boss will give me a raise. In this sentence, the words a raise is what will be given, so it is the direct object. But who will receive that raise? Me, the indirect object. Intransitive verb. In the most basic sentence pattern, SV, the verb is intransitive, id. An intransitive verb is simply defined as a verb that does not take a direct object. That means, there's no word in the sentence that tells who or what received the action of the verb. The subject is doing the action of the verb. Let's discuss more about intransitive verbs through the use of the following examples. Matthew slept all day. The verb in this example is slept. Now, can we answer the question, slept what? The answer is no. And the question does not make sense for this sentence. The sentence does not have a direct object, so slept is an intransitive verb. Another example. Sophie arrived 20 minutes late. In this sentence, the verb is arrived. Can we answer the question, arrived what? The verb arrived is not being done to anyone or anything. There is no direct object in this sentence, so the verb arrived is an intransitive verb. Another example. Matthew sang beautifully. In this sentence, the verb is sang. Can we answer the question, sang what? If the sentence said that Matthew sang a song, we could answer the question. But in this sentence, the verb, sang, is not being done to anyone or anything. Since there is no direct object, the verb, sang, is an intransitive verb in this case. Now, let's test your knowledge. Mark each verb, LV for linking verb, TB for transitive verb, or IV for intransitive verb. 1. I love chocolate chip cookies. Let's check your answer. TV. The word love acts on the direct object, chocolate chip cookies. 2. You are my true love. Let's check your answer. LV. The word R links the subject, you, to the complement, true love. 3. I offer you my unconditional love. Let's check your answer. TV. The word offer acts on the direct object, unconditional love. You is the indirect object. Types of sentences. Sentence type is determined by number and type of clauses a sentence contains. Before attacking them, let's quickly review what a subordinate clause is. A subordinate clause cannot stand alone. It is subordinate to an independent clause, without which, it doesn't express a complete thought. Subordinate clauses usually begin with a subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun. In the following examples, each clause is bracketed with a slash between subject and predicate, and the subordinate clause indicator, which is the conjunction or relative pronoun, is in bold green. You act as if you don't care. The clause, you act, is the independent clause of the sentence. The clause, as if you don't care, is the subordinate clause. The word, as if, is the subordinate clause indicator, which is a subordinating conjunction. Whoever finds my wallet will get a reward. Note that in the second example, the subordinate clause is the subject of the sentence. Memory tip. Subordinate means, inferior to, or, subject to the control of. Like at work, you are subordinate to your boss. A subordinate clause is inferior to an independent clause. The simple sentence. A simple sentence contains one independent clause and no subordinate clauses. The subject and predicate can be single or compound, but the sentence contains only subject-predicate pair. Let's take a look at these examples of simple sentences. Matthew writes. Take note that a simple sentence can be formed using intransitive verb. Note that an intransitive verb does not take a direct object, or who, or what, received the action. Sophie declined the request of the arrogant client. Take note, a simple sentence can be longer than 3 words. Simple sentences are not limited to 1 or 5 words. You just need to make sure that when you construct longer simple sentences, always see to it that it only has one independent clause. Sophie and Matthew danced the night away. Take note, a simple sentence could have compound subjects and compound verbs. The compound sentence. A compound sentence contains 2 or more independent clauses and no subordinate clauses. The 2 independent clauses are connected by a coordinating conjunction, or by a semicolon, with or without a conjunctive adverb. Look at the following examples of compound sentences. Matthew likes to hunt, and he is going hunting on Saturday. The clause, Matthew likes to hunt, is an independent clause, where Matthew is the subject, likes is the action, and a complete thought is expressed. The clause, he is going hunting on Saturday, is an independent clause where he is the subject, is going is the action, and a complete thought is expressed. The coordinator, and, is used, and a comma is correctly placed before, and. Another example. Sophie wishes she could be older, for everyone else in the work is half her age. The clause, Sophie wishes she could be older, is an independent clause, where Sophie is the subject, wishes is the action, and a complete thought is expressed. The clause, everyone else in the work is half her age, is an independent clause, where everyone else in the program is the subject, is the action, and a complete thought is expressed. The coordinator, for, is used, and a comma is correctly placed before, for. Another example. He is going to the dentist, or he is going to the doctor. The clause, he is going to the dentist, is an independent clause, where he is the subject, is going is the action, and a complete thought is expressed. The clause, he is going to the doctor, is an independent clause, where he is the subject, is going is the action, and a complete thought is expressed. The coordinator, or is used, and a comma is placed before or. The complex sentence. A complex sentence contains one independent clause with one or more subordinate clauses. An independent clause can stand alone as a sentence, but a subordinate clause cannot stand alone. Let's take a look at these examples. Matthew was happy he got a part in the drama theater, even though the part was a small one. Let's go back to the movie house where we watched the Toy Story. Because my meal for lunch had gone cold, I heated it in the microwave. After lots of practice, Sophie still struggled to speak English fluently. A complex sentence can either start with the independent clause or subordinate clause. If the subordinate clause comes first, you must add a comma. An independent clause contains a subject and a verb. It can stand alone as a sentence and it expresses a complete thought. For example, the basketball match was cancelled. A subordinate clause cannot stand alone. It needs to be linked to the independent clause to have a complete thought. For example, because there was a typhoon. The basketball match was cancelled. Because there was a typhoon. Put the two examples together and you have a complex sentence. The basketball match was cancelled because there was a typhoon. Whether the independent clause or the subordinate clause comes first, the sentence will still have a complete thought. Because there was a typhoon, the basketball match was cancelled. Or, the basketball match was cancelled because there was a typhoon. The compound complex sentence. A compound complex sentence consists of two or more independent clauses and one or more subordinate clauses. Compound sentences combine two independent clauses, a type of clause that completes a full thought. Complex sentences require an independent clause and at least one dependent clause, a clause that does not give a complete thought. Look at these examples. Sophie's mom went to the mall because it's her birthday, and she bought her a present. In this example, the independent clauses, Sophie's mom went to the mall, and she bought her a present, form a compound sentence with the connection of the coordinating conjunction, and. The first part of the sentence, Sophie's mom went to the mall because it's her birthday, forms the complex sentence. You have an independent clause, Sophie's mom went to the mall. And the dependent clause, because it's her birthday, which does not complete a thought. Matthew, who loves dogs, plans to get a puppy, but he needs to find an apartment. In another type of example, Matthew, who loves dogs, plans to get a puppy, makes up the complex sentence because of the independent clause, Matthew plans to get a puppy, which is broken up by the dependent clause, who loves dogs. The combination of the two independent clauses, Matthew plans to get a puppy, and he needs to find an apartment, connected by the coordinating conjunction, but, makes up the compound sentence. Let's test your knowledge. Identify subject-predicate pairs in each proverb below. Bracket each clause. Determine whether it is independent or subordinate and how the clauses relate to each other. Mark each sentence. S for simple, C for compound, X for complex, or CC for compound complex. 1. A stumble may prevent a fall. English. Let's check your answer. We mark this sentence as simple. A simple sentence contains one independent clause and no subordinate clauses. 2. Deceive the rich and powerful if you will, but don't insult them. Japanese. Let's check your answer. We mark this sentence as compound complex. A compound complex sentence consists of two or more independent clauses and one or more subordinate clauses. 3. Speak the truth, but leave immediately after. Slovenian. Let's check your answer. We mark this sentence as compound. A compound sentence contains two or more independent clauses and no subordinate clauses. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Visit us on onestepenglish.education.